Okay, let's try this again. There we
You did
go.
it. Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Great.
can.
I think so far we have my parents watching.
Hi, Mark's mum and dad. Nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, they won't be purchasing tickets, but it's okay.
You're still welcome here.
Uh,
Um, cool. I'll set this up. My name's Asha. I'm a coach for coaches and facilitators, business coach, and I'm the director of Bloom Festival. Bloom Festival is an embodiment transformational festival. It's 4 days of dance and workshops and like deep presence. And Mark, I have the pleasure of interviewing you about the set that you're going to offer us, the
mm,
ecstatic dance set, the rites of dance set.
mm.
Um, and yeah, we're going to talk all about it, and people are going to get a sense of what they're in for at the festival.
Great,
So,
thank you.
um, yeah, my pleasure. So, tell us about your set. Like, what kind of set are you going to be doing at the festival?
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on, Ash. Appreciate it. And yes, it's always funny when I get um, you know, given the title aesthetic dance, and I guess you could call that because people do get ecstatic, but I definitely have no idea how to actually DJ and run a static dance. So it's not technically a static dance, but it's super similar. So it's okay to say that. I like to think it's more of a embodied dance journey. Um, so the set in particular this time, I will be playing. We've got Murray Kyle on before me, so people will be moving and dancing and shaking by the time I get on. So we'll start slow like I like to start, but not we won't stay slow for too long. We'll bring it up pretty quick because I think by that point Saturday night, it's the last night before we leave on Sunday, and we would have had such an amazing few days prior to that, and I really want to just bring a party. But need to I need to take a little bit of time for myself to get into the journey, even if it's a shorter set like this one. And I also that's just the way I roll with my sets now. It's just I need to create that space for people to get into their bodies and 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 have them build. I need to build trust with them, especially there's going to be a lot of people here, probably more people than I'm used to having, and maybe a lot of people that haven't experienced me before. So safety and trust is a huge piece that I bring to my own events, and that's why I start so slow. We start with ceremony, and we build the music very slow.
Mm, gorgeous. I'm curious about. Oh, firstly, I think I really like that you're sharing the safety and trust piece because um, I actually, you know what? I want to hear from you. I'd love to hear like why safety and trust? Why are these qualities important? What is that going to enable for people in a dance?
Yeah, sure. It's almost like the key to it all. It's for me, it's the key to why what I do has become so successful, because that allows people to feel more, safer to express. And the whole point of doing this is to give them a space to express and to come in the door one version of themselves and leave as a different version, but a version that's more of who they are. I like to give people pieces of of discovering a bit more of who they are, and they can only do that in my experience through feeling safe enough to open to having those experiences and those moments of clarity and awakening and release or whatever needs to come through during the 2 hours that we're, or the 3 hours that we're together in my events. And
Mm.
also just feeling safe in the container as well, coming into the space and expressing. It's extremely scary, and we feel oftentimes participants are really in their mind wondering what everyone else is thinking and assuming that everyone's judging them. And the hilarity of the whole thing is that everyone else is thinking the same thing, so everyone's stuck in, not everyone, but just generalizing here, but a lot of people are stuck in their mind fearing what everyone else is thinking about them when the other people are doing the same thing. And what it is they're actually judging themselves, but it's almost like maybe their mother or their father or their older sibling or the school teacher's voices in their head and that judgment is still there without them maybe being aware of whose voice that is, but it's just in the body. And so that's the suppression that happens. So feeling safe enough to express and knowing that these judgments can come and go, and they can come and go all night long, and you can keep letting them go. And the safer we create the container, the deeper they can go into just discovering more pieces of themselves and moving through that through dance and movement.
Yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous. What are some of the qualities and like archetypes that people can express on the dance floor that they might normally not feel safe to express
Mm,
in a public space or a private space?
yeah. The first two words that come to mind, I mean, the feminine, masculine energies in themselves. So, just labeling like that is easy for me, and I feel like it's easy to understand for people listening. But allowing people the space through the slower songs, through the softer songs, and the more sensual songs to explore their tenderness. And through the tenderness, often, we can people can connect into that sadness. And that's what I love about bringing in the feminine songs, and especially at the start, and just bringing in that softer, tender side of things. And, I find through the tenderness, joy can often be found, despite if there's pain and sadness and grief there. It's like a window into joy. And so that's through the feminine. And then we'll bring it up to a peak. And that's when we get into, I mean, it's still always feminine, masculine, it always go hand in hand together, but we're moving more into a big release, at that point. And there might, oftentimes there's almost like a mosh pit in the middle of my floor with the brothers all in there and the braver sisters like just throwing down. And for me, it's like, that's, I guess, the chaotic but organized feminine, and also just that strong over expressive masculine that's just there, just stomping and yelling and throwing their fists around. So that, I guess, the two predominant ones. I don't really work with any other archetypes structurally around other kind of dance events that I've been to, or workshops.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. Like when I hear it, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I want to get on that dance floor. I want
Mm,
to stomp around and have
mm,
some fun, and
mm,
liberating. And I've been to your dances, and that stuff really rings true to me. That it is a big permission space, and that I can experiment with being parts of myself that I really want to be, that I haven't felt permission to before because of my conditioning. Like in
mm,
past dances of yours, I've like been in just like really different to the group. Like everyone's going wild and I'm like doing qigong in a corner, or
yeah.
like everyone's lying down and I'm like sprinting around the space being weird. And um yeah, you create a very permissive space where we can
Mm,
decondition ourselves from the restraints that we've inherited that kept us safe when we were young, that now prevent us from being our deepest, fullest, truest selves. And
100%.
yeah,
Yeah. And the permission
and
piece, like I do say that at the start, the only permission slip you need is the one from yourself, because you have mine and you have everyone else's in this space, and it's just you need to give that to yourself. And that can take work, that can take coming multiple times, or it can take one evening for people to really feel that permission in themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, thank you for bringing that in the dance space.
Mm,
And to bring this more broadly to the goals of the festival, like this is a 4-day journey. Like
mm,
you're going to have multiple opportunities and multiple different flavors to experiment with, where you can taste different workshops and taste different dance spaces and different songs. And um, there's a lot of safety set up in the festival. We've got an emotional support crew. So if you ever need support, there's someone to talk to, all different kinds of people. And we've got a workshop on consent and boundaries. So we all have
mm,
this shared language around saying yes and no to each other and learning what it feels like to give and receive a no to an invitation, which creates a lot of safety as well.
mm,
Um, so it kind of feels like this set is like this 4-day work festival is going to be like a 4-day embodied dance set with lots of
mm,
different experiences, and it can actually go
mm,
very, very deep. So um, yeah, I feel like in the day, like we've got the workshops you can trial, and then at night we've got the dances where you can try out being different things that
mm,
you discovered throughout the day. So yeah, I see the fit. I see very much the wisdom behind us
mm.
collaborating.
Yes, love it, love it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm curious, Mark, in your own personal journey, like what brought you to the dance? What brought you to embodied
Mm,
dance? What were you like before that, and how has it impacted you since then?
yeah, I love this question. I love talking about this part of my my journey in life because it's so fascinating for me now to look back on it. Um, I've been doing conscious dance events for 3.5 years here on the Gold Coast, and only this year, through so much grinding and so much initiation and struggle and burnout and exhaustion, it's only just landed this year, and I'm getting those consistent numbers of 80 to 100 like each month. And for me, it all started with heavy metal. Like honestly, it started in I think it was 98 or 99. I discovered corn, and that just there was this soul connection with this type of music. And I think I was 14 at the time, and I never looked back. And I just got into this world and learned guitar, and I just went into this world of metal and this music. I'm quite a sensitive guy. I've struggled with emotional regulation in my life and reaction and been overly sensitive. And it's always fascinated me, why do I like this aggressive music? I can put it on still, and it opens my heart so deeply, and it can move me to tears. And it's not an emotional song, but it's just the power I feel with it. And then it's mid 2000s. I had no idea what I wanted to do with life. I decided to go study sound engineering and become a heavy metal record producer. And through the 2 years of that diploma in Auckland, I discovered drum and bass, and that changed my whole life because that transitioned me from metal and rock to electronic music. And it was easy because drum and bass is like the metal version for me of electronic music. And then during the course, I had no intention at all to record bands. It was just not fun to record them. I love sitting at a computer and visually seeing waveforms and piecing together like mixes and mix downs and mastering in that. And then 2010, I was living in Queenstown, and I decided to buy some vinyl turntables, some Technics, and I bought a bunch of drum and bass vinyl. Did that for about a year, and then DJ controllers were coming out around 2010, 2011. And because I had such a broad love of music by that time, I was no longer limited to drum and bass. I could mix all the music on my laptop. And so I spent the next 7, 8 years just literally sitting in my room putting together sets without having the confidence to go out and actually pursue any kind of club, which was club, DJ career, which was essentially what I wanted because I thought that was the peak of it. to be seen and recognized as this amazing DJ. I did a couple of competitions. I did a couple of gigs here in the Gold Coast. I remember playing at Surfers at the Beer Garden and Surfers from 3 a.m. till 5 a.m. one night, and it was horrible, horrible. My friend was with me, just hanging out at Surfers, just waiting till 3 a.m. The club, I've done my club years, but it was like it wasn't a scene where I was getting into at that point in my life. This was like 2015, 2016. And then I got invited to become a wedding DJ around this time. So I spent 3 or 4 years DJing weddings, and that got me live experience to actually DJ, albeit horrible experiences a lot of the time with the music and generic, people weddings and stuff, playing the same music. But it was good initiation into playing live and getting my confidence. And then I was getting deeper and deeper into the conscious community at this point. And I was like, but I still loved this heavy electronic music, like trap music, dirty house music, dubstep and drum and bass. And I knew a lot of my friends in the community still liked this music, but we didn't go out to clubs anymore. So there wasn't places where we could really experience this music on the dance floor. And, there was a lot of yoga events with this soft, nice music and ecstatic dances with, nice music and that. And so I birthed conscious clubbing, which was bringing club vibes to the conscious community. And I did that for a couple of years, and that ended. And then I birthed Rites of Dance last year, and following a similar format between playing some kind of club music that has that kind of feel, but also structuring it in a way that plays a lot of tribal music, a lot of conscious music, a lot of music that has the frequency of healing and allowing space to get into the body and the movement. And so my sets always consist of multi-genres. There will always be that club aspect in there, and there'll always be a party at the end of the set. Once we've done the work, we always party for the last 30, 45 minutes. Yeah, so that's the story.
Yeah, I do love that about your sets, that like you've got some like yeah, as you said, the frequencies of healing, and there's some very moving, lyrical, flowing, touching, heart-opening songs. And then you just got like fat bangers and like stuff you wouldn't hear at a mainstream ecstatic dance, and they're fun and they're silly and they're playful and they're powerful. And yeah, I
The
really love that.
nostalgia. I've discovered nostalgia is a huge piece for people.
Yeah.
Even if there's songs they might hear and go, oh, I hate that song. Like for example, Party Rock Anthem, right? The song was huge in 2010 and just took over the world. And I could imagine every one of my friends, people I know, when I'd ask about the song, like, no, I don't like the song. But when I play it at the end of the set to close the night on this peak, it goes absolutely nuts.
Why
Because
is
it's got
that?
the song's structured in a way, it's designed to do that. Like these guys have a
Right.
formula, and I drop it after going on this journey for 2.5 hours of ceremony and embodied journeying and peeking out and coming into the heart. And then you drop that with the synths and just the high vibe. It's the perfect moment, and it's nostalgic. And there's other go-to tracks that I have for the ending. And they're all cliche, ridiculous pop house music that I would never listen to, but I'll drop it. And I don't know what other conscious dance events would be doing this sort of thing. So
Yeah.
I really truly feel like I found this formula through my own exploration in this event that seems to be different and works.
Yeah. And what I really love about it is like when we're in an ecosystem, when we're in a community that's very homogenous, like everyone's spiritual, like the Northern Rivers, everyone's spiritual. It's like it kind of gets a bit old. It's like
Yeah.
everyone's the same, and it's like actually stops feeling real.
Yeah.
Like when everyone's doing the same thing all the time, it's like, wait a sec, do I even believe that? Like I need a more diverse range of self-expression here.
Yes.
So when you mix like this, yeah, it's like it's creating variety of self-expression, and it's breaking us out of our box. So it's
Yes.
like it's novel and unexpected and liberating. when we come from a spiritual space into labeled as trashy, but actually really fun and a
Mm.
core part of who we are as people. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool.
So many of us, before we became so bloody enlightened and spiritual, a lot of us were bloody, you know, getting wasted for years in the club scenes. And
Mm,
this music still resonates for so many of us. And a lot of the music I play, people might think in the spiritual community might come in and think it's offensive. Good. It pushes that button that doesn't get pushed much in these spaces with people, and it gives an opportunity to look at that
mm.
and that intensity of those peak songs that I'll play. Like I'm starting to this year push it like I never thought I would just a year ago on some of these songs. You know, if my heart starts racing, I'm like, Jesus Christ, how's this going to go down? And it's like, I know I've got to play it.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, pushing the edges. I like it, stretching people.
yeah.
And I really feel like the spiritual community has thrown the baby out with the bathwater a little bit around innocence and just lighthearted fun and pleasure.
Mm.
You know, there's a lot
It's
of
also
deep
serious.
seriousness
Yeah.
in the spiritual community that we can break
Yeah.
free of. So yeah, I
100%.
like
And
that you're doing that.
I like to bring that. Even the way I open space now has become quite ridiculous sometimes. The stuff that comes out of my mouth, but I love it. And I just don't want to
Mm,
be. I don't want to be boxed into this facilitator role that has to be serious
mm,
and the space holder that's serious. I'm serious about what I do, 100%, and the space is very well tightly held. But there's so much permission from me and my authentic little boy coming through, but in cohesion with the mature masculine and my other energies to hold that space for people to go there. But they got that permission. He's like, oh, you know, this whole time with this event, the hardest piece for me is this insane attachment to being seen and recognized as this amazing DJ. That's all I've wanted. And this fear of being seen and recognized and standing up there in front of all these people facing me. But through that, my attachments to that need has dropped away. And I think it's in that whole time, I think two people have come up to me at the end and said, "You're a great DJ." And it's hilarious. People come up and say, "I love the way you hold space. I love who you are." And I'm like, wow, never thought that would be like what people come for. You know,
mm.
the music and everything is great, but it's like they trust me, they feel safe with me, and all the things, and that's really amazing. And as a projector, it's just that's the ultimate feeling of being seen and recognized. And I don't have to do anything apart from now just be myself and not try to make that happen as I did previously
Uh,
tried to.
to me, what it seems like is happening is that you're letting your gifts move, like be
Mm,
expressed, and you're ambitious about wanting to offer your gifts to the world without
mm,
and being careful not to slip into attachment to being seen as that
yeah,
guy. And when
I've
the
journeyed through
gifts
that
flow
enough now.
through, the appreciation gets received, and you don't need to
Mm,
force it. It can just happen.
yeah, and the transformations are happening in front of me every single time I do this, and that's why I do it now. There's no need. I mean, that'll always be there. It feels really beautiful to be seen and recognized as this leader, as a leader in the community, and someone who holds these types of spaces. But the biggest thing for me is providing an experience with people that has such value, and the messages
Yeah.
I've received and it still blows me away, like what people
Yeah, and
share, you know.
I wanna bring it back to that, to what
Mm,
we're contributing now.
mm,
And you know what you're describing around the space that you want to create. There was a piece there. It was around those like different archetypes that we're bringing through, because like this whole festival, it's it's similar to the club meets the ecstatic dance, right? It's like the
yes,
retreat meets the music festival.
yes,
So we're bringing the reverence and the intentionality and the consciousness of a retreat where
always,
we're
yes.
really bringing our best selves and choosing consciously choosing who we are moment by moment and stretching the boundaries to become the fullest version of who we are. And it's fun. You know, we're
Mm,
gonna feast, we're gonna eat together, and we're gonna celebrate together, and we're gonna dance together like absolute idiots.
that's
And
right.
we're gonna play frisbee on the grass, and like you really spoke to something that inspires me about the gift that this festival is, and it's like, can we do the deep growth work in a way that is really joyful and innocent?
Mm,
And it doesn't mean there isn't depth and pain and sadness and grief moving through. All those things are welcome, but I want to bring a bit of like flexibility and silliness and like freedom to it,
yes.
um, with a diverse community. And some people are just going to hone in on the fun and the relaxation, and they're super welcome. Some people are going to hone in on the depth and the intensity, and they're welcome. And we can all be occupying. And the beauty of that is that you have a lot of choice in the event, and you can actually meet what's coming up for you in the moment. It's like
Hmm.
one moment you might just want to rest and chill, and you've got the freedom, everything's optional. And then
Hmm.
another moment you might want to actually have a really deep, rich, powerful experience, and you can go into that. And you're seeing other people around you doing all those things. So there's a lot of a permission space that's there.
Mm.
So I guess for the people who are watching, I just want to invite you in that range of expression is really welcome.
100%. You spoke to it so well. And it's been a big journey of mine is it takes things so seriously. And
Yeah.
I don't play. And it's still one of my biggest challenges. And so through my event, I get to keep working on that myself and at the same time helping others do that. But it'll be a forever journey. But for Bloom, I think it's going to be so much range of that. And being in a space for 4 days, like I know I go through the range of emotions. There'll probably be a day there where I won't want to talk to anyone, and I'll just be in myself. And through that, I get to still choose that if I want, but I can be like, no, this is really an opportunity now to recognize what's going on, but also let it go and maybe step into a bit of play and fun and just see what it looks like and what it feels like. Just for a minute or two. Who knows what will happen? I can still feel sad and shitty, but I can still have fun at the same time. You know,
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
it's like this attachment of, no, I can't have fun because I feel shit. Or it's like, no, we can actually do both of them, or all three of them, or all four of them, or whatever.
Mm.
And that's the human
Yeah,
experience.
we don't only have to be one thing. We can be all the things
Mm,
and have a blend, and
mm-hmm,
and yeah, not getting locked down into one way of being.
mm-hmm.
Cool. I think we've touched on all the points I want to speak to.
Great.
I just have a couple questions left for you. First question is, if someone's considering coming to the festival and they're unsure about whether they should come, what is your message for them?
Great. I say this to open my space. I think I throw it in something like, if you don't have a good time, we have the agreement that you never have to come back if you don't want it. But you're here, give it a go. That's the only way you'll find out if it is something for you. And it's okay to have fear and anxiety and nerves about coming to these spaces. And those usually intensify when considering doing the thing or buying the ticket, and especially the day of the thing. But I find once you're at the thing and the opening ceremony is done, and then you chat with a couple of other people and you find you're not the only one who's nervous, your whole nervous system relaxes and you're able to open to the whole experience. And it's just being okay that it's maybe a little scary to make the choice, but knowing that this event, this festival in particular, is built on a foundation of creating safety and trust, specifically to cater towards those people that have those things coming up about coming, because you're going to have the range of all the people at this thing, people that's first time doing anything like this, people that live for this stuff, but it's all one unit that's in synergy together. So
Well
I say
put,
jump.
man. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that message.
Mm.
So I couldn't have said it better myself. Um, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the people before we finish up?
Mm. It's so important that we come together like this after what we've been through the last couple of years and with the way the world is going right now. This is the most essential time I've ever experienced in my life where we need this type of community. And we're surrounded by people with extraordinary gifts in any walk of life you could even think of. And the connections that you can make and through social engagement and the effect that that has on the nervous system and regulating it, it can only lead to good things. And we need each other right now more than ever. And so this is exactly what this festival is for. It's not just about doing these workshops and doing these dances and all these things. It's about unity and community. And that's how we build. I'll feel safer being by myself in the world, knowing that I've been to this thing and I have all these people out there. Because it feels so alone sometimes when you're in your shit. Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Yeah, thanks, man. You totally spoke to what I dreamed for this. So
Mm,
thank you for putting it so eloquently. Yeah, I'm that this is a feast for the soul,
yeah,
and it will be deeply nourishing, and it's a communal experience. It's like a rewriting of our pattern around community and getting to enjoy that. I look forward to it. Um,
yes, me too. I'm starting to get very excited for this.
Great, great.
I really am.
So, if for people who are watching, if you desire to get some tickets, Mark's tagged the event in the
Hmm.
description. If you want to get a little discount, send Mark a message and he'll hook you up. Um, yeah, that's it for me. Hope you have a good night, brother. I'll see you at the
Awesome.
festival. It's a couple of weeks away. See you so
I'll see
soon.
you. I'll see you before that at the
Yes,
Rites of Dance 90s on June
I'll
25th.
be there,
We're
man.
going 90s. I do an annual 90s event, and this is not a fluffy cliche 90s. This is the real deal. This is balls to the wall, full on remixes. It's
A
an
big
it's an experience of endurance and
What
nostalgia.
date is
So
it?
that's on June 25th, so next Saturday.
Yeah, awesome. And if
Yeah, I'll
people
see
want
you
to go
there.
to that, how can they? Is there a
Uh,
link on your Facebook, or what's the
yes,
easiest
there's
way to
always
find it?
there's always posts on my Facebook wall, Rites of Dance Facebook group, Rites of Dance Instagram. You just look for my name and you'll find something around Rites of Dance there. So I'll see you and Sarah there next week as well.
Yeah, we'll be there. Okay.
Awesome. All right, bro.
Bye, brother.
Much love.
Safe travels.